Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Fans are so sad today. Bradley Walsh drops heartbreaking death. Just few minutes ago, broken our hearts, this news must see. The glittering set of The Chase was alive with anticipation. Studio lights cast a radiant glow across the giant game board. The crew buzzed behind the scenes, adjusting cameras, testing sound, and prepping contestants. Bradley Walsh, the longtime host, strutted onto the stage with his usual energy, flashing that infamous grin. Dressed in a crisp navy suit and a pink shirt that screamed confidence, he turned to the crowd. "Ladies and gents, welcome to The Chase, the show where brains meet brawn and where one wrong move can cost you thousands." The audience laughed politely. Today's show featured four new contestants: Tim, Charlotte, Priya, and the one who would ignite a scandal, Darren Jenkins, a 32-year-old content creator from Manchester. Little did anyone know, Darren's appearance would soon go viral for all the wrong reasons. As each contestant introduced themselves, the vibe was cheerful and ordinary. Tim was a retired firefighter. Charlotte worked in marine conservation. Priya was a high school teacher. And then came Darren. "I'm Darren," he said. "I create social media content and quizzes online, mostly about pop culture and game shows." Bradley raised a curious brow. "Oh, you're in the game show world yourself, are you?" Darren laughed. "Sort of. I've actually hosted a few online trivia nights, and just recently I shared a clip from a show called The Ladder. It's a newer game show, real intense stuff." Suddenly, Bradley's expression changed. His smile tightened. He leaned forward with theatrical disbelief. "You shared a clip from The Ladder?" Bradley asked slowly, clearly emphasizing the rival show's name. Darren, oblivious, chuckled. "Yeah, it's got this cool elimination twist and vertical strategy. Thought my followers would enjoy it." A long pause. Bradley crossed his arms, looked to the camera, then back to Darren. "Well, mate," he said, his voice mock serious but with an unmistakable edge, "you won't win now." The audience erupted in laughter, but it was the kind with a nervous edge. Behind the scenes, producers exchanged frantic glances. The Ladder was ITV's direct rival, a Channel 4 quiz format that had started gaining steam. Darren's online post had recently gone semi-viral, with 400,000 views on formerly Twitter and TikTok combined. Worse, he had tagged The Chase in the post. Some fans took it as a jab, others just saw it as harmless fun. Bradley Walsh, however, was ITV royalty. He'd hosted over 3,000 episodes of The Chase, defended it from critics, and was famously loyal to the format. Viewers at home were quick to notice the moment. Social media lit up with hashtags: Bradley Burn, The Chase Drama Team, Chase versus The Ladder. By the end of the episode, Darren Jenkins wasn't just a contestant, he was a trending topic. Darren stepped up to the cash builder station, still riding a mixture of amusement and confusion from Bradley's dig. "You ready?" Bradley asked, tone friendlier, but his eyes still glinting with mischief. "I think so," Darren said, a bit shakier now. The clock started. Darren answered the first few questions well, but stumbled on a geography one. Then he said Madonna was from Australia. Then he confused Einstein with Newton. Bradley gave him a sideways glance. £3,000, he said flatly. "Not awful, but for a man who promotes rival quiz shows, I expected better." The crowd chuckled. Darren blushed but nodded. Tough under pressure. The chaser that day was Anne Hegarty, the governess, smart, ruthless, and not one to mince words. She strode out in her dark suit and stared directly at Darren. "Oh, you're the one who likes The Ladder, aren't you?" she said with mock disdain. "Fascinating. Let's see how far up our ladder you can climb, shall we?" Bradley practically choked laughing. "Go easy, Anne. He's new to betrayal." Darren opted for the middle offer, £3,000, and stepped into the head-to-head. The questions came hard and fast. Darren held his ground on pop culture, but faltered on Shakespeare. Anne pounced on his mistakes like a cat with a laser pointer. When Darren was eliminated after just 5 questions, Bradley leaned over dramatically. "Told you you wouldn't win," he said. The audience howled. By the time the episode finished airing, the internet had erupted. Clips of Bradley's warning and Darren's elimination were everywhere. Memes popped up of the latter literally collapsing under Darren. One popular GIF showed Ann Hegarty stomping up a staircase and pushing Darren off. Some viewers loved the chaos. Others defended Darren. "He just shared a clip. That's not treason," one fan wrote. "Bradley was harsh, but hilarious," said another. Soon, both the Chase and the latter issued vague statements about respect between shows and supporting all forms of quizzing. But it didn't stop there. Darren posted a YouTube video titled, "I Got Banned from Winning on the Chase." In it, he described the moment as surreal. "I thought it was playful at first," he said, "but backstage, some folks weren't smiling. I got pulled aside and asked if I intended to promote the other show. Like, mate, it was a meme." The video got over 1 million views in 2 days. Suddenly, Darren was being interviewed on morning shows, podcast episodes, and TikTok live streams. He even received an offer from Channel 4 to appear on the latter as a guest host. The trivia world was no longer just about questions. It was a battlefield. ITV bosses called an emergency meeting. Bradley was called in for a light debrief, not a scolding, but a reminder to keep things professional. Bradley, ever the joker, said, "Next time someone mentions the latter, I'll just pretend it's a brand of cereal." But deep down, he knew something had shifted. The Chase, while still king of the genre, was facing fresh competition. Younger audiences were migrating to digital shows, formats on YouTube, and cross-platform quiz experiences. Darren's little moment had stirred the pot. 2 weeks later, the Chase released a tongue-in-cheek promo. It showed Bradley looking at a ladder and saying, "No thanks, I take escalators." And Hegarty added, "I chase people, I don't climb." Then the screen cut to Darren, now in a mock office, writing quiz questions with a mug that said, "Traitor of Trivia." The ad ended with, "No matter what quiz you love, there's always room to chase." It was clever, witty, and it worked. Fans loved it. Both the Chase and the latter enjoyed a ratings boost. ITV even partnered with Darren for a digital-only quiz series tied to the Chase app. Months later, Darren returned to the Chase for a special redemption round. This time, he was welcomed back warmly. Bradley grinned, arms open. "Look who climbed back up the ranks." Darren smiled. "I promise, no links this time." They joked, they laughed, and this time, Darren won, with £15,000 for a children's mental health charity. And as the credits rolled, Bradley turned to the camera and said, "Let this be a lesson. Share whatever clips you want. Just don't expect the governess to go easy on you." The Chase remained ITV's crown jewel, but it had learned something valuable. In the age of digital content and viral moments, even a passing mention of a rival show could explode. What started as a joke became a full-blown cultural moment. Darren Jenkins went from anonymous quiz fan to trivia influencer. Bradley proved once again why he was the master of the comeback. And the trivia wars, well, they were just getting started. Because on British TV, loyalty isn't just rewarded, it's chased.